And it begins. Peanut's owner to sue New York officials over killing of beloved squirrel. The former owner of social media sensation, Peanut the Squirrel, has announced that he has plans to file a lawsuit against New York State officials responsible for the beloved animal's death. What a beautiful day. Also known as Peanut the Squirrel, the animal was taken into custody and euthanized by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC, following complaints from locals. From what I heard, it was just one woman who was not fond of his success, is what it seemed like. They were being, what did she say? She said something to the effect of he was taking advantage of them by using them for social media, which is funny. This squirrel had the greatest life of any squirrel on the planet. The raccoon that he also had, I think his name was Frank or Fred or something. Greatest life of any raccoon on the planet. Lady gets upset about it and they both get murdered. Mark Lungo, the former owner of the famous squirrel, told Jim Turpin of Channel 18 News on Wednesday that he was planning to file a complaint against state officials over his loss. We are going to file a lawsuit and we'll move forward with that. And we'll let everyone know about that when the time is right. Longo explained. The voice chat is not open yet. One sec. All right, it's there now. It's just going to be hard for me to do this, but I have an obligation to the other animals here. I can't just give up. I can't just pack up and move. He oversees a sanctuary for more than 300 animals with expenses that Peanut's popularity helped pay for. Explained that he and his wife want to stick to the mission that we have with our nonprofit. So here's what I don't understand, is if he had a sanctuary, they're not allowed to just come kill it unless the animals didn't classify to be considered a part of the sanctuary, I suppose. In which case, I guess technically in some states, it is illegal to have those as pets. Kat said, good evening, everyone. I just watched a reel that was about a couple upgrading the wife's ring, and the comments were full of the same. Is this real? Women upgrade their wedding rings? What? Upgrade like how? Is this like ungrateful women who don't like the ring that their husband got them? Is that what that is? Is this your sideways way of saying that you want to upgrade your ring? Is that what's happening? Ghost said there have never been animal celebrities online before. Nope, never. Not ever. There also wasn't a hit, I think early 2000s, show about funniest animals that frequently featured animals such as skunks and raccoons and squirrels. That also did not exist, ever. While it is illegal to keep wild animals as pets, residents with a wildlife rehabilitation license can care for an injured or orphaned animal, provided they return the creature to the wild. Which is the kind of funny thing, like, without getting into details, I know exactly how the state I'm in operates with this, and technically, here, he would not have been allowed to have the squirrel, no matter what. And so what they would have done is they would have taken it and euthanized it. That's what would happen here. Usually state laws are pretty close when it comes to like DNR, the Department of National Resources, but they're not all exactly the same. But you can't have them as pets. You rehabilitate and release. That's the legal way of going about it. All right, Rodriguez, you're good. Sure, upgrade my ring and break my heart. Bond servant, what's going on? Greetings to all of you lovely individuals. Hope everyone is doing well this blessed day. I am stupid tired, so I'm going to apologize well in advance. I already have an affinity for pronouncing things incorrectly because all I do is read and I don't talk.
Allegedly, Joe.
But it's going to be allegedly wrong. They're definitely wrong.
We don't really know.
Well, that's very kind of you. I feel like most of them are probably verifiably wrong, but I'll take the grace for sure. Hey, Scott. But it's going to be rough tonight. I just know ahead of time, so I apologize in advance.
Did you
What's that?
Did you ever get the Philly cheesesteaks?
Yeah, and they didn't get here till 9:30, and I wake up at 4:45, so it was quite the night. But she got what she wanted, yeah, and it was very nice and very good.
Sure.
She deserved it. Been eating garbage in a parking lot. Back to the road. We'll be listening. Love y'all. Yeah, drive safe. Sorry about your garbage food. Bondservant is David K. Okay, I'll have to remember that. David, give me a little bit of time. I'm very bad at connecting the Discord names to the YouTube names, but I will eventually figure it out. Just be patient with me. That's passive-aggressive ring upgrading. I learned that from my wife of 50 years. That's a real thing.
Wait, okay, hang on though. I normally agree with that, but that happened when I was married, and it was only because I didn't want it. He did because he was really embarrassed because he didn't like really have any money, so he just got like the most basic one, and then he was upset that I didn't want to upgrade.
I get that though. Like that's one thing. Whereas like if when we're 20 we get married and I can afford $1,200 and get you like, you know, just across the line of not being garbage, and then when we're 30 and well off, like getting you a new one, that's one thing. And I guess if it's prompted by the guy, like, hey, that was all I could afford, but now we're in a different place and I'd like to, you know, get something different for you, that's one thing. But it's and Kat, I guess clarify, but it sounded like, or she expressed it as, it's like women who are unsatisfied with what they got.
No,
and so
yeah.
they choose to upgrade.
And yeah, technically we like both got our way because I was like, no, this is what I've had the whole time. This is what I want. And they let me take out my stone and put it in the new setting as a side part or whatever.
That's cool. I like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's just like reality. You're not always going to be able to afford. With him?
Kind of. And even like the jewelry, they were like, no, you know, it's not going to match the other one perfectly. And this, like, I was just like, I don't give a shit, you know, like, just, I need to have, it's just, I don't know if that's important to me. I don't know.
The jewelers are funny. We went to several places to try to get Kat's ring sized, but they said because I had hers like custom made. And so several of them wouldn't touch it, because it's like it's very intricate and has like flowers and leaves and stuff on it. And finally somebody did, but they like made it sound like it was this big deal, and a lot of people didn't want to do it at all. Jewelers seem kind of finicky.
Yeah, the other thing too though is like I have a I'm a little person, so my ring size is like 3.5, 3 or 3/4.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I remember my ex had an issue too with that, because he couldn't, you know, I guess you were only limited at a certain amount because it's too heavy for the ring or whatever, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I get like there's a whole science to it. It's pretty incredible what those people do, but on the surface, sometimes some of it seems petty, but I'm sure it's just me being uneducated in what the logistics are of actually getting that stuff done. All right. We are in the Book of Giants. The specific book is in Discord in the announcements if you want to read it. There's a link to it. It's on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. I don't know if there's an audiobook, but we're reading the Kindle version, so if you were to buy it, you'd have the exact thing that we were reading. Just so you know, in case you want to do notes and whatnot, you can highlight things, you can write notes, and then the nice thing about Kindle is you can search later. So you can search your notes if there was a keyword or something like that. Just in case anyone's interested in that. We're on chapter 2, which is the Aramaic version of the Book of Giants. The Discord voice channel is open. If anybody wants to jump in or you want to rudely interrupt me, that is totally fine. David's a funny guy, man. Okay, so the Aramaic version of the Book of Giants. Following is synopsis of the storyline of the Book of Giants, the Aramaic version. The fallen angels, also called the Watchers, lusted after and mated with human women, who gave birth to their offspring. the Nephilim. The Nephilim were monstrous and bloodthirsty giants. They killed and consumed the animals, plants, cattle, and humans of the earth. Having experienced sex for the first time, they not only consumed the creatures they found, but according to one version, they sexually abused them as well. Fun. These events were reported to Enoch. Enoch exalted God and praised him for his glory, power, and for his creation. Several giants, including Humbaba. See, here's the thing. Which is correct? Because those are very different.
Yeah, that's not fair.
I want to get to the bottom of that. Scott, if you're still here, I saw you say hi. You are very smart. Do you know why this is? Because it's here, it's in Enoch, and it's actually in a number of other apocryphal texts, but only ones I've noticed is when I'm reading a book about an apocryphal text. I never notice it in the actual text, the raw scripture. I notice it when somebody is writing a book about something from the Apocrypha. If you know, Scott, what is that? Why? We have the example here is Hobabis and Humbaba. And it seems as though that's the pronunciation, but that doesn't make any sense. And so I'm curious. I'm trying to copy it, and it's not going to let me. Hold on. Hobabis, Humbaba. If you know what the deal is,
silent, right?
Like, which silent, but it's different.
Yeah, like the IS is kind of silent, kind of like, the word island.
Right. So then it'd be Hobab. Humbaba.
Yeah. Hobab.
Maybe. I guess that would maybe make sense. In Mesopotamian mythology, Scott says, the correct name is Humbaba. Also sometimes written as Huwawa. That makes a lot more sense. Humbaba was a fearsome guardian in the cedar forest in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Right, which is that's the only name I've ever known. That's what I'm comfortable with from the old Mesopotamian stuff. So I wonder what this is. I wonder if is it from Hebrew? Was it like their alternate pronunciation? I don't know, but if anybody gets to the bottom of it, I'd be very curious. Several giants, including Hobabus or Humbaba, Mahawe, and perhaps the watcher Barakel, discussed killing humans. The giants had dreams predicting a great flood in which they would perish. The first dream was of a stone writing tablet submerged in water. In this dream, most names on the tablet were washed away, but 3 names remained, and I'm sure I can't pronounce them. One version of the dream was of an angel defacing the tablet as a symbol of the destruction brought about on earth. In defacing the tablets, 3 names could not be erased, symbolizing the flood's destruction, with only 3 men remaining alive on earth. There was also a dream which referred to a guardian. Oh, Rodriguez, that's you. You got mute. It sounds like
I'm muted?
No, but mute if you're going to move stuff around, because it sounded like you were reorganizing cups or something.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I'm cooking. Yeah, my bad.
You're totally.
But I do have a question. So this is kind of parallel with Enoch, and is this? I'm confused with the 3 people thing.
Well, I think they haven't really explained yet, so I think that's coming.
Okay.
If they don't, we'll circle back though. One version of the dream was of an angel defacing the tablet as a symbol of the destruction brought about on earth. In defacing the tablets, 3 names could not be erased, symbolizing the flood's destruction with only 3 men remaining alive on earth. There was also a dream which referred to a garden being destroyed. After the destruction, 3 plant shoots or trees were left in a garden. In the second dream, an angel descended and cut down all but 3 shoots in a garden. The text may be interpreted as 3 young trees or 3 plant shoots. 3 shoots, 3 names. The 3 shoots and names represent the 3 sons of Noah. There you go. There's the answer. Interesting.
Thank you.
The giants met, counseled with one another, and decided to ask for help. Mahawe consulted Enoch the first time. The giants, Ohia, and Mahawe had a conversation in which Mahawe told Ohia something he heard while in the presence of his father, the watcher Barakel. Ohia responded that he too had heard of the four marvels. He compared it to the stages of childbirth. Oh, this ought to be good. Barkel or Barquil was the ninth watcher of the 20 leaders of the 200 fallen angels that are mentioned in an ancient work called the Book of Enoch. There were 200 watchers who descended. They were grouped like soldiers with a leader for each team of 10. There were 20 leaders for the total of 200 watchers. The name Barakel means lightning of God, which is fitting since it has been said that Barkel taught men astrology during the days of Jared and Herod. If you remember, if you were here, when we read a good chunk of Enoch, a lot of them like specifically taught humanity different things, and a lot of weird behaviors and cultish type things. There are many people who like attribute a lot of that to this, just as some background fun stuff. Gilgamesh, one of the giants, proclaimed that despite his great strength and courage and his ability to kill any human, he had been unable to prevail in a war against a number of heavenly beings, or archangels. He lamented that he had no hope of surviving a full-on battle with them. Scott said, that's what I found about what we were talking about earlier. It sounds like the author here is making a correlation of one character in the Book of Giants to Humbaba. I'm not sure why they're both listed there. Okay. Well, bummer. It's going to bother me. But most things do.
That's because it's two different cultures, though, right?
That's what my assumption is, yeah. Because it seems like the Mesopotamians had what they had written.
Oh, yeah.
And then another way. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hebrew had one way and then also another way.
Yeah, that's what I've seen in other texts also. So,
right, so that's probably most likely.
Yeah.
Ohia said he was made to dream a very disturbing dream. As it turned out, the giants were having nightmares and visions. Gilgamesh also had a dream and was told to recount it. Ohia spoke to his brother Hayya, good God, about the watchers. About the watcher Azazel. Azazel was one of the watchers and father to some of the giants. God condemned Azazel. The giants realized there was no escape and they must die for their terrible deeds. Ohia had not dared to sleep due to a vision that disturbs him so deeply it frightened him into being afraid to sleep. In the assembly of the giants, they discussed their great fear of being killed and how their coming corporeal death in the flood would strip their bodies from their spirits and reduce them to evil spirits. Interesting. The watchers were imprisoned. They told the giants, go ahead.
So this is where they officially become demons?
I don't know. I'll be interested to see. But that's an interesting way to word it. Would strip their bodies from their spirits and then reduce them to evil spirits. So possibly, maybe the beginning of it.
Okay.
We'll see. The watchers were imprisoned. They told the giants they could not win the coming battle. The giants would be defeated. Mahoe and the 2 tablets were discussed. The second tablet was a letter from Enoch to the watchers. Samyaza. Is that right? Rodriguez, you know this one, don't you?
Yeah, that one is, yeah.
Samyaza, okay. And his fellow watchers. They were rebuked for their sins and for producing the giants. Their actions were labeled corrupt and had come to the attention of the archangel, good old Raphael. They were told they would be destroyed. Raphael told them to release their hostages and to pray. Ohia relayed a message from Gilgamesh and Hobabis, which involves the cursing of the princes, in quotations. This cheered the giants. And then he has a note here. It says, we assume the princes are the angels and the watchers' curses had no effect on them. We assume the princes are the angels and the watchers' curses had no effect on them.
Yeah, I was trying to understand that one.
It looks like maybe it's going to continue on. Let's see. We assume the princes are the angels, and the Watcher's curse had no effect on them. All right. 2 giants, Ohia and Hahia, had dreams. Hahia described his dream in the assembly of the giants. He dreamed of gardeners watering a garden which produced great shoots of trees, which produced great shoots or trees, but the garden was destroyed in a deluge of water and fire. The other giants were unable to interpret his dream. Hahia proposed that they consult Enoch for an interpretation. Then his brother, Ohia, told of his dream, in which God descended to the earth. Thrones were set up, and God sat on his throne in the midst of angels. God judged based on what was written in certain books. The giants asked Mahaweh to go to Enoch, whom he had encountered before, to ask him to interpret the dreams. Mahaweh took wing and flew across the great desert, in quotations. Enoch saw him and called out to him. Mahaweh referred to this encounter as his second visit. Mahaweh asked Enoch to interpret the dreams. Enoch listened to the accounts of the dreams and foretold the violent deaths of a number of watchers and giants, or Nephilim. Although the watchers and giants asked for forgiveness and peace, Enoch told them God had declared, "There will be no peace to you, baby girl." Enoch blessed and praised God. The Aramaic version was thought to belong in the Book of Enoch at one time. We will attempt to place it back into the Book of Enoch in some reasonable order and reconstruct the text. This ought to be interesting. Following is a reconstructed text. The order of some fragments is not certain and may not follow the preceding outline. Translation of the Aramaic version found the cave of Qumran. Unreadable or missing portions of the text are signified by ... within the text, and I will point that out as I read. The symbol in brackets ... signifies a phrase or portion thereof. Book of Giants, reconstructed text. The wicked angels descend, bringing both knowledge and havoc. There is a lot of missing text, in case you're not looking.
Yeah.
So this might be a little bit rough, but we'll do the best we can. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this does sound like I'm probably treading in some not great waters, but like Zeus imprisoning the Titans in Mount. Let me see here.
No, that's a fair thing to point out, though. That's fair to point out.
Yeah, and I forgot who he had gather them together. Let me see.
Yeah, no, I get the similarities. Tampa, you should be up. Guys, if you want to get in the voice and you have your hand up, I don't see it, so just put it in YouTube, because then I'll see it. Like, say you have your hand up.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're
yes,
good.
ma'am.
Okay, because I'm not on my headset. I'm on just my mic
You're
on my
good.
phone. I'm making sure. Okay.
Did you have anything, or you just want to be up here just in case?
Just in case. I should have gotten in earlier, but Discord was having a little technical difficulties with me. It wasn't loading up right.
Okay. All right. Well, so Rodriguez, did you want to say something about what you were talking about, or was just that?
The Zeus. No, I just think it's beyond noteworthy, because I think it's just important, because I think it kind of just helps with the validity of the text, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, that's an interesting thing to point out. I would not have thought of it, but there are definitely similarities for sure.
Yeah.
And enough so that I'm probably gonna read some of that when we're done. I think.
Do we know how many of them?
How many stories parallel like that?
No. How many of them were kind of gathered together and then thrown into that mountain?
No, at least not. I don't believe so. I don't think we got specific.
Okay. I was just curious, because I think Greek mythology has 10 of them. So.
Okay. Okay.
Is the number similar? That's all.
Yeah, keep that in mind, and let's see. That's a good thing to point out. All right, the first fragment. So we have a ... meaning we're missing some of the text. They knew the secrets of ... Sin was great in the earth, missing text. And they killed many, missing text. They begat giants, missing text. This is going to be rough, guys. Hold on one second. The next fragment, we'll call them verses. We're missing the beginning. Everything that the earth produced, missing text. The great fish, missing text. The sky with all that grew, missing text. Fruit of the earth and all kinds of grain and all the trees, missing text. Beasts and reptiles, missing. All creeping things of the earth, and they observed all, missing. Every harsh deed and missing utterance, missing. Male and female, and among humans. It's almost unreadable, but maybe the big picture is enough, and that's why we're doing it. Patricia, the great fish. It's good to see you. I think I saw you earlier, and then you disappeared. Yeah, I'm not going crazy. Okay, so male and female, and among the humans. Next verse, we're missing the beginning. 200 donkeys, 200 asses. 200 asses. 200 missing. Rams of the flock, 200 goats, 200 missing. Beast of the field from every animal, from every bird, missing. For misgeneration, inbreeding of people considered to be of different races. And then missing text, of course. Next verse, missing the beginning. They defiled, missing. They begot giants and monsters, missing. They begot, and behold, all the earth was corrupted, missing. With its bloody, and by the hand of, missing, giants, which did not satisfy them, and, missing. And they were seeking to devour many. Go ahead.
They begot monsters?
They begot... Did I misread? No. Yeah, so the beginning of fragment 2, we're missing the beginning. Then it says, they defiled, missing text. They begot giants and monsters. And then
that's kind of a big deal.
Missing text. I wonder what the word is, though. So if this is the Aramaic version.
What would monsters mean in Aramaic?
Right. If I can get it quickly.
And the only reason is, I remember like a couple of years ago, like really going down this rabbit hole.
So
because it made it sound like the myths may have not been so mythological.
Off the top, you have Golem, Behemoth, and Leviathan from Jewish tradition.
Where are the first two? I know that the last one is a legit dragon. I don't give a what anyone says. The text is pretty clear. There's fire from its nostrils and breath and blah blah blah. So, but what are
Behemoth was the land monster that
Behemoth.
Behemoth. He was the counterpart to Leviathan.
Okay.
And then Golem was a monster that protected the Jewish community from persecution, but ended up being dangerous to them or something like that. I don't know. It was a less known story, but that was Golem.
Yeah. Golem. Okay.
So maybe, I don't know, it'd be something worth looking
I'll look it up. Yeah.
more into. Yeah, for sure. Again, thanks for pointing that out. And they're going to mention it again. So after monsters, they begat, and behold, all the earth was corrupted, missing text, with its bloody, and by the hand of, missing, giants, which did not satisfy them, and, missing. And they were seeking to devour many, missing. The monsters attacked it. So there, it's plural more specifically. At the beginning of fragment 2, it's also plural, but you could say, just the way language works, that they were talking about one. Here, you couldn't say that. So we're definitely talking about more than one. This is a good rabbit hole. I'm really glad you pointed this out. I would like to get to the bottom of that.
This is a little weird. I guess it's kind of somewhat mentioned in Psalm 139:16, the word golem, and it says a body without a soul, I think.
139:16?
6. Oh yeah, 16. Yeah, 139:16.
Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed by me. It's not here. Let me see.
Unformed. It's probably unformed substance. Then maybe if you look up the root word of that, the BLB.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. Let me get.
I guess it's like a Let me see.
Yeah. So the eyes beheld my unformed substance. That it looks like that is what Gollum it would have said. Gollum there, unformed
So this
substance.
is what the Nephilim created, right?
That's what it's appearing
So
to be. Yeah.
creates stuff, but it doesn't have a soul. Well, I'm serious.
No,
I'm
not
trying
you,
to-
not you.
Oh my bad.
You're killing it. Yeah, this is the word golem is also used in Jewish folklore. I was laughing at what Ruth said about ghosts. It's used in Jewish folklore to describe a clay figure that has no will of its own and can only carry out the orders of its creator. Okay. The golem's origin in the Bible inspired many legends about wise men who could bring golems to life. In one famous story, Rabbi Judah, I don't know, Rabbi Judah of the blah, 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 created a golem to protect the Jews from persecution. Okay, and that's the only part I knew, which is why that's all I said. I just remember that it had something to do with protecting them from persecution, but then later ended up being dangerous to them, and it kind of backfiring. But it looks like in 139:16 out of Psalm, it is a part of, that is a section where David marvels at God's characteristics, including God's omniscience, omnipotence, blah, 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 blah. But
this is why we don't play with this stuff. This is why AI. I agree with you, Ruth.
Yeah, that's funny. Ghost said golems are ancient Jewish AI, which is it's a great way to say it. It's
I'm with you on that. I will speak ghost on that. Yep.
All right, I want to pull this too. Okay. Graves is here and Graves is late. It's okay, buddy. We love you. Okay. All right. Well, all that in mind. All that in mind. I'm taking some notes for myself for later. And then I guess same thing. If at any point we want to pause and get into any of this stuff, we definitely can. But that's interesting. I'm glad, again, you stopped us. So thank you. Where were we? The monsters attacked it. And then now we're on a new verse, new section, lots of missing text. So bear with me. Missing the beginning. Flesh, missing. All missing. Monsters, missing. Will be, missing. They would arise, missing. Lacking in true knowledge, missing. Because, missing. The earth grew corrupt, missing. Mighty, missing. They were considering, missing. From the angels upon, missing. In the end, it will perish and die, missing. They caused great corruption in the earth, missing. This did not suffice to, missing. They will be, missing. They drenched the tablet in the water, missing text. The water went up over the tablet, missing. They lifted out the tablet from the water, and then we don't have the rest of that verse either. Fragment 7. I'm just going to say miss when there's missing text, because I'm annoying myself. So I'm just going to say miss. Or I'll just pause. I'm just going to pause. We're missing the beginning. This vision is for cursing and sorrow. I am the one who confessed the whole group of the castaway that I shall go to. The spirits of the slain complaining about their killers and crying out that we shall die together and be made an end of much, and I will be sleeping. And bread for my dwelling, the vision, and also entered into the gathering of the giants. We're missing a lot. This is rough. Continuing from the last one. We're missing the beginning. Ohia, and he said to Mahaway, missing, without trembling, who showed you all this vision, my brother? Barakel, my father, was with me. Before Mahaway had finished telling what he had seen, said to him, now I have heard wonders. If a barren woman gives birth, We're missing so much context. Next fragment sounds like a spotty phone call. I don't know if you guys have a better way for me to do this. I'm very open to suggestions. I feel like okay, then I'm just gonna.
You're doing the best you can with what you've got.
I'm doing the best I can. But if anybody, Kat said, "Bro, just merp instead of missing." It makes us.
Kat, I legit thought that. I was like, just do Kat's merp.
There's so many merps. There's so much merp. Very high volume merp. Missing the beginning. No, I just read that. All right, fragment 4. Fragment 4. Thereupon Ohya said to Hahya to be destroyed from upon the earth and the earth when they wept before the giants. Fragment 7. We're missing the beginning. Your strength. After that, Ohya said to Hahya. Then he answered, it is not for us, but for Azael. Azael?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Azael. For he did the children of angels are the giants. And they would not let all their proved ones be neglected. We have not been cast down. You have strength. And then we were missing the end there. Kat said, I need to give y'all a merp video so y'all have context. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. You need to try to get an organic one, though. All right, fragment 1. So I think we're...
Well, hang on. I have a question, though, about some of the names, only because... Hang on, let me pull it up.
All right, I'm going to try to search a few of these.
We're trying to draw parallels here because... Technically, if you look at all of these names, right? Like Azazel, Raphael. Well, there is Semyaz.
Azael was the last one.
I'm just curious because that's a lot of the names end in EL, and then over here, a lot of the names end in YA.
I mean, do
you get what I'm saying? Like in terms of translation, I wonder if there's any parallels for that. I don't know what they are specifically, and I'm kind of referencing First Enoch.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking.
Like Michael's an angel, Gabriel's an angel, Raphael, EL, you know.
That's interesting, actually. I wonder if there is. It also makes me wonder, like I think we talked about it on Sunday, but like where a lot of, at least in the Old Testament, it seems like it could be very likely that a lot of the names of people were not actually their names, and it was for a literary reason or to help people remember, because all the names seem to be wordplay. Not all. A lot of the names in the Old Testament seem to be wordplay.
I think the EL... Maybe Ghost knows more than I do, but I think the EL has something to do with, like, I don't want to say their spiritual, part of their spiritual being, right? Because you get Elohim, right? EL. I really wish I talked to Jared. But, yeah, I think that's kind of what's... Okay, never mind. Now I'm thrown off because we see Barakel.
Yeah, I don't think it's perfect, but I don't know. It'd be interesting if you end up
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. It'd be interesting to see if you end up looking into that. I definitely get why you're saying that, though, yeah. And I wonder if there is a parallel. Right. Yeah, if you end up doing that, post about it for sure, because I'd be curious. Azael is the last A1 that we... Yeah, I get what you're saying. That'd be interesting to look into. You need to get an organic one then, sir, says Cat Leader. No, you need to change your name on there, girlfriend. Fragment 1. Missing the beginning. I am a giant, and by the mighty strength of my arm and my own great strength, any one mortal, and I have made war against them. But I am not able to stand against them, for my opponents reside in heaven, and they dwell in the holy places, and they are stronger than I, of the wild beast has come, and the wild man they call me. Then Ohia said to him, I have been forced to have a dream. The sleep of my eyes vanished to let me see a vision. Now I know that on Gilgamesh. And then we're missing the end of that one too. This makes me think we should read the epic sometime soon.
Honestly, I was literally thinking that, but I didn't know if I should say it. But
No,
I was like, we got parallels for sure.
I think we should, man.
There's Enoch in here. There's
And Enoch, he's gonna tie together, so we won't have to do that.
yeah.
So we're good on that. But I'm highly debating like pausing next week and reading the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Like just reading it or trying to find the
I think doing them
parallel writing to this.
I think read it and then make note of as much as possible and then come back to this. It'd be really hard to actually read them parallel live because it's just I can't do that. When there's other stuff going on, it'd be very hard for me to do that, to have both up. But we could definitely read Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh, take notes, and then just jump back to this the following week, or it might take 2 weeks, and then just jump back to it, and then everything will be fresh in the brain. We'll already have read a bit of this, so some things will at least pop out to us. But I fear that if we read this entire book, 222 pages, and then try to go to Gilgamesh, then we're going to forget. Like, it'll be easier to remember Gilgamesh than remembering this whole text. I'll run a poll, because you guys are the boss. And then whatever you guys want to do, we'll do. Kat said, fine, but not on TikTok. I get quite a thrill leaving flirty comments on your videos and knowing no one knows who I am. It is entertaining. I'll give you that. Fair enough. She will. She'll drop very flirty things on videos, and she just looks like a crazy girl who's obsessed with me. It's very. She does it on here.
It's cute.
That's true. Yeah, she does do it here too. But she gets a little bit hyped up on the TikTok.
Oh yay, she has fun with it. That's the best.
It's very cute. Yeah, it's very cute. Okay, we are fragment 2. 3 of its roots. While I was watching, they moved the roots into this garden, all of them, and not missing the ending text. Concerns the death of our souls and all his comrades, and Ohia told them what Gilgamesh said to him. And it was said concerning the leader has cursed the potentiates, and the giants were glad at his words. Then he turned and left. And then we're missing the ending. And now the author has a note. It says, so much of the Aramaic version is missing. No joke. In this area of the text, that to reconstruct the flow, we have used the Manichaean. Ghost isn't here. It's not. And that's going to drive me crazy. This is one that...
What is it? Manichaean? What is it?
No, but it's stupid easy. And it just never comes... Yeah, it's Manichaean. Okay. I'm not unbelievably stupid. I'm just mostly stupid. The Manichaean version. So they had to use the Manichaean version to aid in making the one that we just read because so much of the text was missing, and still so much of the text was missing that it's really hard to interpret that. Thereupon 2 of them had dreams, and the sleep of their eye fled from them, and they arose and came to and told their dreams, and said in the assembly of their comrades, the monsters, in my dream, I was watching this very night, and there was a garden, gardeners, and they were watering 200 trees, and large shoots came out of the root. All the water and the fire burned all the garden. They found the giants to tell them the dream, and then we're missing the very end of that one. Missing the beginning of the next. To Enoch, the noted scribe, and he will interpret for us the dream. Thereupon his fellow Ohia declared and said to the giants, I too had a dream this night, O giants, and behold, the ruler of heaven came down to earth, and such is the end of the dream. God, so we're missing the literal dream. Thereupon all the giants and the monsters, ! Grew afraid and called Mahwe. He came to them, and the giants pleaded with him and sent him to Enoch, the noted scribe. They said to him, "Go to you that you have heard his voice." And he said to them, "He will and interpret the dreams, how long the giants have to live." And then we're missing the end there. We're missing the very beginning of the next. He mounted up in the air like strong winds and flew with his hands like eagles. He left behind the inhabited world and passed over desolation, the great desert. And Enoch saw him and hailed him. And Mahweh said to him, "Hither and thither a second time, Mahweh. The giants await your words, and all the monsters of the earth, if has been carried from the days of there, and they will be added. We would know from you their meaning. 200 trees that from heaven came down." This is rough. Now he's got one version adds a quotation mark. "For the closed door of the sun will open, the sun's light and heat will descend and set your wings alight. You will burn and die," he said. Having heard... Oh, I get it. Okay, we're missing the very beginning. Let me start over. We're missing the beginning, but this is in addition to. "For the closed door of the sun will open, the sun's light and heat will descend and set your wings alight. You will burn and die," he said. "Having heard these words, I beat your wings and quickly flew down from the air. I looked back, dawn had missing. With the light of the sun, it had come to rise over the Cogman," but there's no way that's how that's pronounced, Kogman, mountains. And again, a voice came from above, bringing the command of Enoch, the apostle. It said, quote, "I call you Virgadad, and then it's got Barakel in parentheses. Then we're missing text. I know, missing. His direction, missing. You, missing. Now quickly, missing. People, missing. Also, and then missing. Impossible." Author's note, this ends the Manichaean edition. Fragment 2. The scribe Enoch, a copy of the second tablet that Enoch sent, in the very handwriting of Enoch, the noted scribe, in the name of God, the great and holy one, to Shemahaza?
Yeah, Shemiyaza, yeah.
Shemiyaza? Okay. And all his companions. Let it be known to you that not and the things you have done, and that your wives, they and their sons, and the wives of their sons, by your licentiousness on the earth, and there has been upon you, and the land is crying out. And complaining about... What's that?
So they were perverts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of this is just debauchery, right?
Yeah.
And complaining about you and the deeds of your children, the harm that you have done to it, until Raphael arrives. Behold, destruction is coming, a great flood, and it will destroy all living things. And whatever is in the deserts and the seas will destroy whatever is in the desert and the seas. And the meaning of the matter upon you for evil. But now loosen the bonds binding you to evil and pray. Missing the beginning of the next. Great fear seized me and I fell on my face. I heard his voice. He dwelt among human beings, but he did not learn from them. This ends the Aramaic version. And then we are on the third chapter. And just like last week, I think we're just going to wait because we've got 10 minutes. So, if that's all you were here for, feel free to bail. I do want to look at the Epic of Gilgamesh to see if I can get just a nice, clean PDF version, which should not be difficult. And then I will post a poll in Discord to see if you guys want to do this next Thursday instead, so we can hop on this. It's 50 pages, so realistically it'd probably take us 2 weeks, but we can try to just burn through it as quickly as possible. Translated my okay. I'll do some digging to make sure the translation is by somebody I'm comfortable with, and I'll try to get a PDF so I can just share it in Discord so everybody can have a copy of it if you want. But
are you talking about Aramaic? Which part are you talking about translating? Sorry.
The translation?
Yeah.
I just want to make, like, I don't know who Maureen Kovacs is.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So just, I mean, this looks okay. And it's from 98.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll do some digging to make sure we don't get something that, or I don't know. You guys know the deal. The language thing is impossible. So just I'll try to find the best one that I can. If anybody already has one for whatever reason that you've vetted, I'd be happy to take it. But otherwise, I will find one. I'll put a poll in Discord to see if you guys want to do it. If you don't, it's totally fine. But like I said earlier, my kind of perspective, I think, is that if we take a break for 2 weeks, we read this, I think it would be much more clear to then go back to the Book of Giants. And I think we'll be able to make more connections. Also, I've preached for a very long time, all Christians need to read the Epic of Gilgamesh. And I doubt any of them, for the most part, have. So it's also it's something you should read for sure. You should read that. You should read some Egyptian stuff. Was it audio version?
Yeah, that's the way I gotta read things.
For sure.
I mean, I'm talking to you and at the same time, so I'll see what I can find.
I'm an Audible guy. I listen to books constantly. I have things talking in my ears for I think my average is 8.5 hours every day, which is probably unhealthy, but I like to just consume. I'm a big audiobook guy. If you find audio version, that would be fantastic. But it's good. Everybody needs to read it. So I think it would also just be good for that fact. It's a really good story. It's good stuff. So I'll post a poll for that. And then...
Isn't it? I heard that it was technically a myth for the longest time up until recently. And when I say recently, I mean like the last 20, 30 years. And that's when they found evidence.
Yeah.
I guess it was not a myth and it was actually real.
I haven't dug into the evidence for it. I know that they found some stuff that they say added validity to it. It's something I should do, but I haven't done it. So if that all checks out, yeah. I think it's just a great story, and it's more than anything for me is like the Mesopotamians, the Egyptians, the Sumerians, and the Jews. If you align a lot of their direct origin stories or some of their peripheral origin stories, I think most people would be truly blown away at how much of it is very similar.
And I think that's exactly what we're trying to do, right? Is draw parallels and differences and whatnot, see what's going on chronologically.
Right.
As best as we can, given what we have.
And to just see the culture, the different cultures who seem to be, this is my opinion, but seem to be trying to express many of the same things. And you get to see how each culture, in all of their uniqueness, how they expressed it. I find it very interesting to see, because you can see just like the identity of the culture, which is a beautiful thing, because they were all very different. But it seemed like in a lot of these stories, they're trying to express the same concept or the same broader context of like the divine. It's just it's really interesting. And you guys are all obviously geeks, so you should definitely get into it.
I know, it's so sad.
It's not sad, it's a beautiful thing.
And I'm proud. No, yeah, you're right. I love my
beautiful thing. Yeah, it's totally good. I guess on top of that, please go vote in the poll. If you're gonna come, if you're not gonna come on Tuesday, don't vote, because it's kind of a mean thing to do. Don't sway an election that you are not going to be a part of. But if you are, then vote on the poll, because so far we're tied on 3 of them. I saved my vote for the end, so if we need to break something, then I'll break it. But anybody who's going to come on Tuesday, go vote. The topics are solutions for peace in society, both religious and secular. What is idolatry? Fear of death and dying, and Christians and self-defense or violence. Is it okay? Which I think we did at one point a while back, but maybe it was worded differently. I think it was something like
We talked about pacifism.
that's exactly, yeah. Okay. That confirms, that was what I thought. So it'll be similar, but either way, like, it's a good topic. People wonder. So that's that. Sunday, Genesis normal, and then Tuesday, whatever you guys pick here, we will do. And then as soon as I get off, I'll post the poll for Gilgamesh. Is there anything else? Tampa, did you have anything?
No, I think it's time for me to finally get into Enoch, I guess. You guys have that on the other channel, right? You did a study on Enoch?
Yeah,
Girl, it is so good.
we read a good chunk of it, but this is go read the
Enoch.
I'll tag you in this though. The book that we're reading right now, from what I understand, is he's gonna directly tie all of it to Enoch. So if you're gonna read them both at the same time, cool. But I think he's gonna go over a lot of Enoch, because I think this includes the book of Enoch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think you're covered. But if you wanted to read it separately, this same author, I'm gonna put it in off topic for you. This same author wrote a similar book to what we're reading, but both of the main versions of Enoch, the Ethiopian and otherwise. So he's really good. So if you did want to get it, I think you can get it on Kindle for like $4. But it's the same author, just Enoch. But I believe this includes Enoch. So I think you're gonna get a good bit of it, if not the whole thing. Well, it can't be the whole thing, but most of it at least. It's a difficult read. It's a difficult read. The author the link I tagged you in on Discord, not that book, because that's what we're reading. But if you go to his books and you find just his book on Enoch, and it'll be both translations, he does the best you can do at making it readable. And he adds, like, he'll explain things along the way. But if you were to just read the raw text, it's extremely difficult. It's a very, very tough read.
Wait a second, because I have it's the pseudepigraphal text. Hang on. And this one has, the thing that I like about it, it's James H. Charlesworth.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how, like, when you read the Bible, it has, like, in the margins in the middle, and it'll just show parallel scriptures to what's being said or described. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one also has that, which is important to me, because I think, like I said, it helps with validity.
Yeah, I don't know why that ever doesn't exist.
What doesn't?
Why they don't do that? Like, what is the scenario where you shouldn't have that? Because there are a lot that don't put the margins.
You mean draw the parallels?
Right. Yeah. There are a lot that don't do it, and I just have never understood why.
I don't know if you're allowed to let people see the chat, the Discord chat right now that I just posted.
Yeah, I can.
But that's kind of an example of what I was saying, where
Right. Okay. It's not big enough, but here you can see enough though that on the side it's got reference to Psalm, Numbers. Yeah, that's really good, because that's how you should read.
Yeah, I love it.
100%. Like if you guys like watched me when I actually studied the Bible, it's like, not nowadays, but it used to be, I'd have like 4 or 5 Bibles spread across a desk, a big ass notepad in the middle, and every time anything was referenced, I'd flip. So I had like one Bible doing different activities at the same time, and then on the notepad I'd be tying them all into like one progression, because otherwise it's just you're bouncing or you're missing a lot.
Yeah.
And so much of the Bible is reference, especially when you get into the New Testament. Like if you were to truly add up the number of times any of the authors of the New Testament they're not speaking something original. They're quoting or paraphrasing something from the Torah. It's an insane amount of time. So each time it does you well to anytime Jesus or Paul or anybody says anything, to look at the bottom, because most Bibles do it. Look at the bottom. Make sure you're hitting all the references. Go read what they read, because a lot of time it's a paraphrase, or the quote is not exact, and then you read it, and then you get the full context. I just don't know why you wouldn't do that. You're skipping and missing so much. Mikkel said, Humbaba again. Humbaba again, my friend. And there will be more. I feel like I give myself a 7 today, or a 6 on pronunciation. But I feel like the text just wasn't that hard today. There's time. Rodriguez posted in the chat the pseudepigrapha, the Old Testament, James H. Charlesworth. It actually looks really good. I'm considering buying it.
Dude, it is amazing. And that there's 2 volumes.
They set it up really well.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me show you.
New translations from authoritative texts with introductions and critical notes by the international team of scholars. It looks really good. You should consider getting that.
Okay, I sent you the other, like the table of contents, because I like that they have it color coded, because I feel like that makes it a lot more easy.
Yeah, I like that. Expansions of the Old Testament and legends, wisdom and philosophical literature, prayers, psalms, and odes, fragments of lost Judeo-Hellenistic words. I really like that. They really did a good job putting that together.
Yeah, they really did. I love it.
At least aesthetically, it's phenomenal. I'm
sure you're like me, where I can't read anything like this without a pen and paper.
No, yeah, it's a waste of time.
Right.
So is that volume 1 and volume 2?
Yeah, and that's it.
Looks
I
good.
don't know, but it doesn't have so it doesn't have all of the books, obviously, but it does have a good chunk.
It's good chunk. Yeah.
It does, yeah. And I did my best to kind of notate from what I remember with previous professors what they believed had more validity than others, you know?
Yeah. It's got the Apocalypse of Zephaniah. Interesting.
So cool. We are so geeking out right now.
It's hard to find. Well, that's why I named my kid after that. It's so hard to find. If you ask any Christian, her full name is Zephaniah, spelled all the way out. She's gonna hate her life as she gets older, but we just call her Zaya. But it's hard if you ask any Christian, like, one, they won't even know Zephaniah is a book in the Bible. But then if you were to ask like 9.9 of them about the Apocalypse of Zephaniah, they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? Nobody knows.
Wow.
You guys should read these. They're really, really interesting.
I can try to scan it for you and send it to you if you're not gonna buy it.
No, I think I'm gonna buy it. I like it.
I think it was like $50
at
the time.
They're expensive.
Well, I had to get paperback, so I was like,
no, I need to be able to bend it. I've been on the electronic kick for a long time now, but it's just not the same, bro.
No, it's not. Yeah.
I don't like it.
I'm very OG.
It's just nice because the one reason that I like it is because of the notes. Because Kindle and the other programs that I use allow you to take really good notes, and then you can search, which is phenomenal. So if you're doing like long-term year studies of things and it's an insane amount of notes and whatnot, you can just search keywords. Like, you can't beat that. But in terms of having like a pleasant reading experience, just studying, it's paperback all the way. 100%.
Yeah.
There's just nothing like an actual book in your hand. Scott said, the one I have is called The Complete 54 Book Apocrypha, 2022 edition. It's crazy how much information is out there. And there was like a boom, man. There was like a boom 10 or so years ago with the Apocrypha. And I don't know what the origin of that was. But all of a sudden, like, publishers were pumping out these texts like I had never seen before. It was kind of isolated to parts of Orthodoxy and Catholics for the most part, and then a few like small, insignificant sects of Christianity. But then all of a sudden, like, publishers just started dropping these editions of the Apocrypha. I don't know what it was, but people's interest really spiked. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's very good stuff. Okay, well, I am going to go eat because I'm very hungry. I'm going to post a poll in Discord. I'll tag Alert so we can figure out what to do for next week, and then go vote for Tuesday if you have not already. And I'll see most of you Sunday night for Genesis. I love y'all. Have a wonderful night.
Bye, y'all. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Love you.
Thank
Love you. Bye.